Hello, hello, and woohoo! This is my 70th episode. I have been recording those for 2 years now, I believe, and they are nowhere near perfection. And this episode is broadcasted to you from my bed. I have been manifesting, and I was talking about this in my last podcast about the manifestation techniques, I believe, and just the overall what manifestation is. And I have been listening to Bob Proctor, a manifestation, and there is one thing that I thought I'll have to share with you. So in my spare time, so usually in the evenings when I relax after work, I watch Netflix. I was just flicking through my episode, and I actually have one episode about Doom at Your Service. So one of the Netflix series about the couple is usually some challenging love triangle, or lovers from different timelines or things like this. So this is my relaxation time, and I go on Netflix and I watch Korean dramas. I'm one of those people who watches Korean dramas. I love them. I've spoken about this already, but I do love them because they are just gentle. They're different to kind of European or American cinema, when there basically is lots of sex, and it's kind of very yes, there's just big difference, and I'm not sure why and what is luring me into watch that. And I know there's lots and lots of people, obviously those dramas are very popular, so what is in them, I haven't really critically observe this phenomena, what is in those dramas that they are so popular between people. And I guess there's certain age of people who watches them. It could be really interesting. But anyway, so I have been watching this Korean dramas and nothing else. I don't really watch TV other than that. I only watch that once. And I have been consuming this, I guess you could say, more and more, especially now when it's dark, like at 3 p.m. in UK. And I don't really like going out when it's so dark, meaning it's just not as pleasurable. My other main activity is taking walks, and going outside and taking walks in the dark, maybe not that great. So I guess just a lot of other factors influence the fact that I have been watching this Korean dramas more and more. And I was aware of that. And I was aware that I spend maybe 2 or 3 hours in the evening watching the drama. And the last one that I watched that has been quite intense, it was about the, I think you say Joseon times in Korea. So the older times when everyone kind of was wearing this period costumes. And it was about war, and it was about separation, and there was a lot of fighting there. There's a lot of blood there. I do believe that, like with everything, and that's why my podcast is, and I like to call it spiritual, because I believe that everything emits energy, and everything that you watch, you take the energy on it. And obviously it shows as you think about this, and it makes you feel something. It makes your body feel the certain way. So whatever you are putting yourself next to, this has impact on you. So the same with those Korean dramas. They had impact on me, energetical impact, I like to say. And I was thinking about those, and they were bringing certain emotions, and I could feel that I feel kind of uneasy maybe, and I had specific dreams if let's say it was like a 2.5 hours, watch 2 episodes or 3 episodes, 3 hours each episode for an hour, a kind of long evening of watching this. And I was saying to myself, I really should stop seeing those episodes so frequently, so often. I really should be doing something else with my evenings, because although I don't want to be like critical to my activities, and I am never bored ever, I am so deeply into discovery of myself, and I like to think about myself as so interesting. I think because of all the work I am doing around the mind and self-discovery, and just looking for things around me that are stimulating my mind. So usually it's books, it's exercise, it's just thinking about things that happen, and it doesn't have to be a big thing that happened, and kind of analyzing this and taking out lessons out of this, whatever it was that happened. And sometimes in the week I don't have even that many interactions with people other than virtual, maybe coming into the office, going into the gym, and having some telephone conversations with people. And this is enough, meaning that it's enough for me to then think about it and kind of make it into life, if you know what I mean. So just going back to that, there is a better use, I was thinking there is a better use of my evenings, but obviously the Netflix and the series there was always there, and I kind of almost subconsciously always grabbed the remote, and it was just very relaxing, because when you watch series like this, when you watch anything on TV, TV is constructed that way, as well as obviously social media and your phone, to take over your mind for a little bit. And that's how we relax. We kind of switch off the mind and we focus on something else. Now when I'm thinking about this, is like a meditation, but it's not really the healthy type of meditation, because there are things going on subconsciously that we don't really have full control over. And obviously everything that is underlying there, that other people, I guess, or entities, or whoever is controlling the TV, the social media, they are being put into us, and we allow that in a way, but also our awareness is dampened, our perception is kind of is more fluid. We definitely don't have control over this, and in a way it's very relaxing. I'm now explaining how TV works and how I understand it, but I what I'm trying to say is that I felt that is not the best time to spend this time on this type of activity, that it was doing something to my brain that wasn't exactly maybe positive, or maybe creative, that was kind of dumping or damning almost myself. And in the same time I was doing the meditations of abundance, and I'm still doing this, and all of a sudden on my TV the message has been displayed of this TV is losing access to Netflix on the 11th of November. I didn't really pay much attention to that. I thought maybe it's just like a general message. I didn't really know what it meant. I started to be nervous. The message was kind of displayed every now and then whenever I put Netflix on. It was displayed on there, and it was just there like a warning, I guess. So it made me nervous because I had this routine of going and watching Netflix, and then I thought, what am I going to do with all this time? This is my relaxation time, really relaxation for this evening. And they kind of, someone is taking this away, as my TV is whatever, Panasonic TV. I don't even know. I think it might be 10 years old actually. But it's quite modern. It's got all the apps, and I don't really know that much, but it's just one of the modern looking and modern feeling TVs. So I did then some research, and it turned out that some models of some TVs are just not picking up Netflix app anymore from 11th of November. I still kind of thought, but that maybe I can get Netflix some other way. Doesn't have to be through app. Sorry for my ignorance if anyone knows about those stuff, but I didn't kind of think about it, but there was this kind of worry behind this, like how my evenings are gonna look like now, and I'm really feeling attached to these Korean dramas. How am I going to watch them now? And there was also this Korean drama, the last one that I watched, I think it's called My Dear, and it was the very kind of recent one, and Netflix produced, and it was about this guy who had some brain sickness, like a brain tumor, almost, and obviously there was a relationship, and this guy was a very young, obviously attractive male Korean actor, and he had some ups and downs, and it's always about the family, so always going back. They base their characters very often on those dramas on the childhood trauma, so maybe that's another aspect that I kind of liked observing, that how they built on that. And then very often this person had some type of childhood drama, very often losing the parents, very often being an orphan, or being kind of a recluse, or living in in some type of impoverished circumstances. And then they grown up, and all the choices and all the environment was kind of bringing this trauma up until they kind of shifted maybe, and then something happened, they shifted, and their life improved. And this is very satisfying to watch, because obviously it's never easy. It's not shown as that it's easy for them. There's always some sort of sacrifices. There's always some sort of losses. There's always some sort of sadness in that, and they go through obviously ups and downs always, but in a nutshell is what I'm talking on this podcast about, is about going through your life when you experience hardship, when you are coming from some sort of childhood trauma. And I've been talking about this, that everyone has got different traumas, and the traumas are not something that we can compare with each other. Like, you had worse trauma, I had not that bad trauma. For you is a trauma, is an experience that made an impact on you when you were younger, and when you were a child, when everything was forming inside you. So your perceptions, your how you connected to your parents, how your parents connected to you, and this kind of formed you now, and that's how you go with this luggage, or baggage rather, not luggage, baggage through your life. But I'm digressing, which I love doing. So the last series that I watched was about this guy, and he had some incurable sickness, brain sickness, and he went through the exact scenario of going through his childhood trauma. And in this case, it was basically about his parents who couldn't have children, and then they went for in vitro, and then but the in vitro was supposed to be with his father's obviously donation, and then his mom carrying the baby. In hospital, it turned out that the sperm was swapped, and the sperm that his mother was inseminated with was not his dad. Well, they didn't know that when the baby was born. They didn't know that, and his father brought him up, and then all of a sudden they found out, and father just completely destroyed the family. And the father kind of turned around from the really young son, and son didn't understand, and then the mother has passed away, and the child just was kind of, he was bringing himself up by himself because dad went into depression. So quite a serious trauma. And out of this boy the boy became a very handsome, kind of living on the verge of the law guy who doesn't know how to accept love. So that's how it was. And then he kind of went through the whole movie, learned how to accept love, learned that he was sick, and he died at the very end. And I thought, and that was my last series that I watched, and I thought that was very appropriate to kind of. And then on the 11th of November, my Netflix disappeared from my beautiful Panasonic TV. So I thought that was a sign, that was definitely an answer to what I was asking for, meaning I should not watch that much TV. I should stop watching Korean drama for now. I'm not saying I'm not gonna come back to it, but now I am just in a couple of days of not really watching anything, and my evenings are kind of full with other things. And I do admit there is quite a lot of social media, but for example, I believe that if the Netflix was not turned off for me, I wouldn't have recorded this episode today, because usually I would finish by, let's say, 9, watching the dramas, the 9, and then I have my kind of night routine, and then I just organize the house and stuff, play with the cats and things like this, and because I don't want to go to bed too late. But usually very often, actually, by the time I did all the chores and all the things that bring me joy, also the chores do bring me joy as well. I like pottering about the house, but by the time I do all of this, it's already kind of 11:30 or 12 even. And today I was in bed earlier once I did everything, and I had time to do this. I flick through the Instagram a little bit, but actually some of the content creators there, or one of them, inspired me to record this podcast. She was talking about how she started recording things on TikTok. She's kind of now has got quite a big audience, and she was talking about how you are scared to start, and how it's maybe difficult for you to do something, whatever it can be for you, and that there's going to be people who will laugh at you, or who will turn away from you when they are your friends, and things like this. And I still have this fear, and I still feel this limitation, but the joy in me is like saying that I've started. What I would like to is that this podcast is like, it becomes like a coaching, like a coaching podcast, so spiritual coaching podcast. So although I am not here with you speaking to you face to face, you can use it as a coaching tool for yourself and learn something also through my experience, but see it through your experience and pick up whatever fits into your perception of the world, or things that's happening to you, or things that you may be thinking about. And also the fact that it uplifts you, that there is someone there who might be going through similar things, or if the experiences are not similar, might be thinking similar things, or just opposite, thinking, looking at things from other perspective that you'd never think of. And I'd like this perspective to be spiritual. So that's my word for this evening. From bed, not watched Netflix this evening. I hope you are well, and I speak to you soon. Bye bye.